Really?
We're recording.
Okay.
I would say on 3.
Okay.
1, 2.
Hold on.
All right, are we ready, Fitz?
Yeah, we're ready.
Rock and roll.
Look at this camera, though.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
All right, ready?
Yeah, Fitz, what are we waiting for?
We're waiting for you guys.
We're waiting for you to count
I've been
up
sitting
from
here.
1. This week on Tampa. Suck. Do this intro.
No problem. Fine here. What's
All
up?
right, good.
We're here on
Tell
the.
fine him.
If you shut up, I can actually do the
All right,
intro.
here we go.
Here on the What's Good Tampa show, and this week we're going to go over everything that's going on this weekend, what we've been through the last week. I also have a couple bones to pick with this guy over here. We got a guest on the show, our second guest ever. We got Antoine, who is a multimedia expert. He does music for the WWE, which blows my mind as a wrestling fan, as we talked about. And he's a motivational speaker and does a lot of other cool things online. We're going to get with him and talk all about him. Throw a lightning round at him too. Put him on the tough spot with some questions about Tampa and a lot more. So stick tuned, or stay tuned to What's Good Tampa. Let's get rolling.
Welcome to the What's Good Tampa Show. What's Good Tampa Show. This is where we talk about all things Tampa Bay and beyond. Coming to you from the Gimmick in Ybor City, here's your hosts, Austin and Sean.
So Sean has his headphones on today, so he actually knew the intro was ending.
Yeah.
And by the way, he kind of totally sucked doing it 10 times and wants to give me crap about my my cheap vodka, but I'm pretty sure that's what just put me on the point.
That
with
must
that
have been
intro.
the bone to pick.
I mean, was that not pretty good?
That was
I
good.
slipped up a little bit at the end.
But we come to realize.
That's only one of the bones to pick with you,
Oh, okay,
actually.
cool.
Because, as a matter of fact, I love that I was getting ready to leave for the show today, and he says to me, "Hey, dude, I'm in South Tampa. Can you guys stop and get some drinks for the show on the way over?" I'm like, dude, you're in South Tampa? You've been telling me for the last 4 weeks you're coming over to help me hang my picture, and you tell me you're in my neighborhood, and you don't even
Even worse. I was just delivering a piece of art that just sold to hang at somebody else's house.
See, this is what I'm saying. And I'm supposed to be I thought you're good friends.
Yeah,
and
you are.
I can't even get you to come.
Listen, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, tell
the reason why,
because you haven't been.
I'll be honest with you. Last week you thought, we could have done a little bit better on the podcast. So I had to give you a reason to talk about something this week. So I held off on hanging so you could have a bone to pick, and it worked. Listen, I was invited to go with our boy to a hockey game tonight, but I said no because I have a podcast. And I said, you know what? I'm going to choose the podcast over going to the Lightning game tonight. So a simple thank you would be nice.
I don't look at it that way at all because, as a matter of fact, I've been on this list of to hang this painting.
You really have. Actually, you've been at the top, and so when I don't
but
know
somehow
how you do
I keep
lists.
moving down.
No, you stay at the top. It's just the one at the top stays uncrossed off.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you always have that motivation to do more.
Yes. There's so much I got to get done, and it's but then I got to get that thing hung up.
I just don't. I guess I just didn't realize I was actually really low on your totem pole.
Top of the list. Actually. You're on the top of the list, but it's going to give us some good content. We're going to get 3 or 4 minutes out of it, and I got to be honest with you. You're very prepared today.
Yeah.
My wife will be happy because there is no phone coming out today because you've got it on paper for your notes.
I actually printed the
that's
notes
amazing.
today, folks.
That's amazing.
Yeah. 3 to 4 minutes. I'm filling up pretty well so far.
I like it. So my plan's working to perfection at this point.
Yeah. Well, I don't really think it's fair. I just want to. Have you always been the flakiest guy on the planet, or just new since
I don't know.
met
We'd have to ask, I guess.
Yeah, I want to actually poll because you've always you say you got your buddies listening. I bet you they're willing to agree that you are the flakiest person they've ever met.
Or it would break your heart because they're like, no, dude, this guy's early to everything.
This guy
comes through every single time.
Do I need to bring up again your own art show you didn't show up to?
I know, that's crazy. I was late. I showed up to it.
That sounds flaky to me.
Or maybe you just bring that out of me.
Is that what it is? Well, that's unbelievable because I feel like I support you a ton.
You do. You do a great work. So I hope.
But you can't make it over.
Well, next week. Next week I have to now because we're not going to use that talent again, or that we're not going to use that excuse again for for next week to not talk about it. So now at this point now the gig is up. I got to go hang this thing.
Well, yeah, pretty much too. And I didn't even mention that. Like, you kind of told me 3 times you were coming over and you never showed up.
Did I also, in my defense, did I also try to make that work? And you're like, dude, super busy. Here's my schedule. I don't know. But then you're right. You're right. Then I said, don't worry about it, dude. You can just keep working. I'll just hang it.
Yeah. Well, I did say that. Yeah. And you said that. So what was the problem? I don't even understand what the problem is. But who cares what the problem is?
There's no problem.
There's no problem.
Life is good, man. We're here again. We're doing what we love.
Yeah.
And other people are not only watching it, but hopefully enjoying it.
I mean, I hope so.
All
and speaking
of
doing what you love, I can't wait to get Antoine on just in a little bit. But I wanted to first touch on some of the things going on.
Another bone of it. No. Going on this week?
Yeah, going on this week. One of my favorite things that comes to Tampa is actually over in Tarpon Springs at the Sponge Docks, and it's the 33rd annual Seafood Festival. If you've never been to the Seafood Festival at the Sponge Docks, it's a lot of fun. They've got live music going on. It's this all weekend, basically. I think it's from, like, I got it written down on my notes, from 12 to 9, from the 12th through the 14th, but tons of stuff going down on there all the time down there. And there's a bunch of really cool shops and good restaurants. There's also like a vintage arcade, which awesome. I like that. Yeah. So, going into the arcade and playing the old games and stuff, that's always, I enjoyed that. Kristen obviously hates it, but there's tons of good restaurants and food and things to do at Tarpon Springs. But here's like this big seafood festival. And you go there, there's like art for sale. There's all different types of food vendors, not just seafood. So if you don't like seafood, there's still a lot of other food vendors and things going on down there. Live music. They do a bunch of raffles and giveaways. So I'm going to go down there. Have you ever been down there to Tarpon Springs?
To Tarpon? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, how about the Sponge Docks in particular?
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So it's a cool place. And
Tarpon's cool. I actually was there a lot when I used to live in Florida.
Yeah.
A good buddy of mine, I actually lived in Clearwater, but a good buddy of mine, his dad lives up in Tarpon. So Tarpon was cool back in the day. And it's kind of, it's still cool, but it's different.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It is different now, but the Sponge Docks, for some reason, it's got a lot of history and it's like always like stayed the same. But
absolutely.
So that's one thing that's going on. Another thing is the Tampa Rv Show, and I bring this up because
you're buying an RV.
Well, no, I'm not, but I've always had that, like, I want to do RV travel. Have you ever done an RV or traveled an RV?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah,
Tell me what's that
Well,
like.
are you saying like a driving RV or like a fifth wheel, like a tow behind?
Either one.
My mom has a 19-footer. So when we go up to Vermont, she camps most weekends in the summer.
Yeah, and do you like it?
It's all right.
Yeah, see, I feel that would be my attitude too. I kind of like
I like the idea of it. The kids like it. It's fun to build fires and burn stuff, and it's where you get your pyro.
Okay.
But for me too, like just if you do it right, and I don't want to say it's glamping.
Okay.
But like bug net, like I don't need to like.
Dude, I would be the glamping type 100%.
So you'd want the TV on the outside. Oh, yeah. You're definitely going to get the screened-in porch.
I'd love a heated swimming pool somewhere nearby. I'm not.
Why don't you just go to hotels?
Here's a quote that I live by: "Nice things make life nicer." I firmly believe that, and I would be a preferred glamper over living out like in a tent or doing that type of camping style. Not interested in that.
I'm interested in that if there's something on the line, like
what? This isn't Survivor.
Yeah, like life or death, like Survivor Man is like one of my favorite.
Let me know when that happens to you.
Like when
let me know when the Survivor situation happens.
Yeah. So here's my thing too. I don't want to glamp. I'd rather camp. So if I wanted to camp, I'd rather want to just go like tent. Fish for my food, and if I don't catch it, I go hungry. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
okay. So Fitz, what do you think? Should we do like maybe like a side episode of we put it. Sean out in the wild for like 24 hours and he's got to fish and hunt and get all, maybe 72 hours might be a little bit.
72, yeah. I mean, that'd be that's where it like makes it like, okay, you got to be resourceful. When you're glamping, you're like, all right, I'm going to hook up to sewer.
That's I'm all about.
Yeah. But in my mind, then why go to a campsite? Why not just go to a cool hotel? Good point.
yeah. I mean, you do have a good point. I'd rather probably stay at a good hotel if I had the option. But we have, there are a lot of good campsites and things like that throughout Florida. There's a lot of them. We actually have one booked for this month at Devil's Den. I don't know if you've ever been to Devil's Den. Fitz, tell me where Devil's Den is, because I know it's a little further up. You can scream it. We can
like Devil's Den is really nice. 2 hours up north.
Anyway.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's basically just kind of like an underground cave that's like it's a spring, right? If I screwed that up, I'm probably in big trouble. But anyways, it's an underground cave. It's really beautiful down there. The water's like really cold, but you can scuba dive in it and swim in it and all that stuff. And it's a whole entire campground with like a ton of stuff to do. So Devil's Den, the plan is we're supposed to take an RV up in the next few weekends. I don't know if it's next weekend or the following to Devil's Den, and we're going to camp out there. So that's going to be like my first RV camping experience ever.
So you're like renting a driver. Like a driving one.
No. I mean, we're renting a drive, like a C-Class, I think they're called, or like one of those smaller RVs, but we're going to rent one of those. We have a little campsite at Devil's Den.
So we do a lot of camping, like there's a lot of, like in Inverness, there's cabins.
Yeah.
So we've done that as a family a few times. That's fun, because then you have a house, like, but you still get the kind of, you can go in the river and, you can rent the boat and you can do the thing.
Yep.
But you're not like, wondering where, but see, in Vermont, it's way different than here too, because you're hearing coyotes and
Vermont.
Yeah. Well, you're in the woods. So like when you go camping, you don't like go to the campsite. You can just walk in the woods and camp.
Right. I got you. Like real.
But you also can get killed by animals and stuff. But that's what I'm saying. There's something on it. Your life.
Yeah. Well, my whole point was the RV show is this weekend at the Tampa Fairgrounds. So if you are interested in RVing or just kind of exploring the idea, kind of like I am, the RV show is going on all this weekend at the Florida Fairgrounds. The last thing is there's another thing going on at the Tampa Bay Brewing Company this weekend, which is Little Badass Beer Fest. Yeah. Which also kind of seems like a lot of fun. I don't know if this is their first one or not, but the Tampa Bay Brewing Company, they're basically putting on like a beer fest where they're going to have all different.
Right in Central?
Yep. All different types of local brewing. I think it's off of 301.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. It's 4800 US Highway 301. That's where it's located. Okay. It's $70 a person, but it comes with like, again, all types of food
drinks.
And beer and drinks, live music, entertainment, and things like that. So if you are a beer enthusiast, I'm not. You like beer. I'm not so much.
A little bit, yeah.
So that might be something you want to be checking out this weekend. If again, that's kind of like something that you're interested in.
Yeah.
So again, those are a couple items I knew that were going on this weekend. And
then next week, which we can talk about, but A is for Art is at Stone Soup Company in Ybor on the 19th, which is a Saturday.
Awesome.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then, every weekend there's just walking the streets down here.
Every weekend. And then I saw they just had the, they had the press conference. I guess not the press conference, but I just saw Logan and Jake Paul down here in Tampa this week.
Oh, really? They're already here?
They were just here on like Monday, I guess, like help promoting it because the fight, I think it's December 18th.
We got to get him in here.
We're going to. Oh. Yeah, we're going to the fight. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're going to the fight.
I'm super stoked about that. Again, I outsmarted you on the tickets, but you kind of forced yourself into the invite.
I completely forced my will.
You basically had no clue if I was inviting anyone else or like what my plan was. You just invited yourself and your friend.
I did.
You did, but I was going to invite you anyway. I was going to invite you anyway. So anyway.
And it's going to be fun. Like, would it be the same if I wasn't there though?
No. I was 100% going to invite you anyway, but so it was kind of funny.
You want to make it pay.
But I didn't know like if if you're going to bring your wife or your friend, but whoever you wanted to bring, I didn't care. But so anyways, I'm glad
my wife's really not into the boxing gimmick.
Yeah, either is mine, and she's already questioning like, should I go and should I not?
Oh yeah, she'll have a blast.
She'll definitely have a blast. I mean, these things are going to be, these fights are so much fun, and I hope Jake Paul loses just because.
You were saying that. I think I'm indifferent. For me, it's the show because really that's what it is. It's the show.
Yeah. I guess I'm the same in that. So anyway, I think we're getting to the point where we're ready to bring our guest on, Antoine, right? So we're gonna real quick cut to this important message, and we're gonna bring Antoine on when we get started. So we'll be back.
Peace.
We interrupt this show for a very important announcement. Don't forget to get your Tampa tees over at tampaislife.com. We've got your Buccaneers tees, killing it this season. We've also got our Lightning. Again, the season just started, so don't forget to get your Lightning tees, your Bucks tees, and more tees about our city. Check out tampaislife.com, and we'll see you back at the show. Welcome back. We've got Antoine. Again, Antoine is a musician. He's a multimedia creator, content creator, motivational speaker. He writes music for all the big wrestling promotions around today. So Antoine, thank you so much for coming on. This is so cool.
He's just one heck of a guy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, we met Antoine, maybe 10 minutes ago, and we've already been vibing the hell out of him. I'm feeling the conversation already.
Smooth, man. I love the setup. I love everything, man. You guys have something amazing here, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank God for Instagram, brother.
I know, right? I mean, we were talking about this, Fitz and I, maybe a few weeks ago. Just it's crazy how Instagram draws you into the whole new people. I never would have met Sean. I never would have everyone in this room. I never would have met before if it wasn't for Instagram. Isn't that crazy to kind of think about?
Social media ain't necessarily a bad thing if you do it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like almost my entire friend group, which is probably 4 people, but I've met them all like through social media over the last few years. If we didn't have it, I don't know if I'd have any friends. I probably wouldn't.
Me neither.
I think it should be like smoking cigarettes, though. You should be 18 and use it responsibly. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you might have a point there. You might have a point there. So, Antoine, tell us a little bit about like what you do and like your business,
Projects you're working on.
Yeah, all that.
What makes you tick, man?
Absolutely, man. So I am a, like you said, man, great intro, multimedia personality, artist, podcaster. I'm when I grew up, started doing this. I said, look, as long as I get into music, motivational speaking, and podcasting, and somehow blend all this, I'm good with my life. However it turns out, I'm in there. I started as a musician, been doing it since 16, I'm 33 now, so I've been doing music my whole life. Then once I started going towards my communication degree, went into the broadcasting part of it.
Okay.
And motivational speaking, my granddad was a social worker, always spoke in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
He said, you're probably going to end up doing this someday. I'm like, whatever, man. And look at me now. I'm talking in front of a bunch of 12th graders who don't care. They're grown already. They got their car and
That's awesome. That's awesome, man.
So what made you what makes you tick? What made you want to, get into, because it sounds like you like music and that was a hobby, but it turned into like affecting other people. What was like some of the things that, as you're making your music and want to motivate kids or people in general, well, what was the main drive for you? Like what, other than, you were saying your granddad, but like what is some of the things that really pushed you to not only do the music that you do or to promote yourself the way you do, or just the way you live your life? What are some of the main things that really get you?
Things that pushed me a long time ago was the drive for creation, the drive to be able to start something and telling a story, whether it's motivational speaking, whether it's podcasting like you guys do, or music. Tell a story. Start with a blank canvas and build something from there.
Yeah.
Musically, grew up in a household, grandmother playing a lot of Marvin Gaye and James Brown in the house. Right. You get inspired by those things. So when I started making music, and when I started, I was terrible. I know how much better I am now, but I was terrible. And just figuring it out, learning instruments, learning how songs are formatted. That's what makes me tick, is just starting with a blank canvas. Same thing with a podcast, coming up with an idea, freestyling it. Sometimes we write no notes down, we just go.
Right.
And just starting from something that we have an idea about into a great podcast episode. Yeah. Even with motivational speaking, I do everything off the head. I have bullet points, but I go off the head because I know that it's going to come from the heart that way better.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
No, it's over here.
Yeah, I know. That is something you could appreciate.
But no, that you make a good point. What I was getting at too is like, let's be honest. With social media, everyone and anyone can be a social media, whether it's a content creator, whether it's a motivational speaker. And I think this is good too, because what I think is, social media is also an aspect where, me and you probably don't care about talking in a room with a bunch of people, but we might not be as shy as some people that can express themselves and possibly motivate people one-on-one because they feel like it's just them in the room. And they can put that out in the world and see what comes back. And even if it only motivates one or doesn't motivate anybody, but they get positive feedback because people are just being nice, it can help them internally. So I agree. I think when I say what motivates, I think what motivates us all, whether we are on social media or not, because I've met a ton of people that don't go on social media and don't speak their mind, but when I have a conversation with them, it motivates me tremendously. Sure. So, I'm glad that we have both, because a lot of people think, well, the way I'm going to do this is if I'm not on Instagram, who will know I'm doing it? Right. And this is just a reminder that no, because like my art studio, if I didn't have this podcast, I wouldn't be out there, and on Instagram, I really don't say or talk or anything. So this is an outlet for me to speak on what I do with my hands and what I do with my brain outside of it. And my story, as a business owner, I've been in the health club industry forever. You could probably tell by the abs.
Would you guess? Yeah, me too. You guess this guy owns a bunch of gyms?
But so I turned 40 and I'm transitioning. I'm selling. I'm selling my business up north to do something that I love. And I don't know if maybe somebody on Instagram, or social media inspired you to do what you do, but it didn't inspire me. I feel like my inspirement came from the people around and like into my art. art. Being in Ybor, for instance, is way different than, where I grew up north. And so it inspires, your surroundings inspire you. And it's cool when you have, and I've watched a bunch of your stuff, it's cool that you have that personality where you're easy to listen to and probably easy to talk to. And that makes, whether somebody's going to give you that like or share, it doesn't matter because they're absorbing it. And that's all that matters. People get hung up on how many followers you have, but it doesn't really matter. If they're absorbing what you're doing and it benefits them and yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally, who cares?
Well, speaking of the follower thing, you got a lot. I mean, you seem like you're growing. You're doing really well.
Thank you.
So people must connect with you at some level. Do you have a sense of what that is? Because I did listen to some of the motivational speaking, and I'll be honest, I was getting motivated.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was good. So I could see myself being drawn to the content from that aspect, but also, and I'll just be honest, I don't listen to a lot of rap, but I saw some of your videos and music and stuff, and it was very well produced. You can tell you've put time, money, effort into it.
I listen to a lot of rap, and I think it's great.
Thanks, man.
It's very, very
so
good.
what
Thank
do
you guys.
So what do you think is kind of drawing the audience, or do you feel, is it a good mix? Are you getting more people from your music career or the motivational speaking, or kind of where's your focus now?
Great question, because see, when you do many different things, it's hard to kind of tell where your demographic coming from.
Yeah, sure.
So a lot of times I just play it by ear. I just kind of see what gets my most general reactions, and a lot of times truthfully, it's a tie between if I just post a clip of one of my verses from a song, and the motivational speaking clips is under a minute.
Okay.
When it's something and it's something I'm on fire with that minute, that's when I get my most engagement. Because it hit them somewhere. You get a lot of comments, or even a song, maybe a new song, and I post a clip from it. So a lot of times, man, I sit back and I really, really do believe it's just, if anything they see that I'm doing that is positive and new, because the way I move, I'm just always at them,
right,
just dropping something.
Well, this day and age too, it's throw as much stuff out there as you can if you have talent or you don't have talent. Because here's the thing. There's so many people now that connect with podcasts, content creators, people in general. And that's why I try to get in people's face a lot, because I want them on the outside, away from the camera, to have a real conversation. Yeah. Because you can say something and get away with it on camera, and there's no real, no one calling your bluff, or saying let's just say somebody has 100,000 followers and they're a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Well, if they made 20 grand last year, that's not what they do for a living.
Right.
So they may create music, but only 6,000 people engage with music, but that's their livelihood. Who cares? Don't make dollars, don't make sense at the end of the day, because you can't run something for free forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I 100% agree with you on that, but it's funny because we were almost having the reverse conversation before this podcast started, and of course Fitz told us to shut up and wait till we got on the podcast to talk about it. But as we get older too, it's more so about doing just what we love, whether it makes us a ton of dough or not, right? I mean,
a ton of dough. But see, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying a ton of dough, because I think people are out there yeah, man, I want to get rich. Yeah, everyone wants, in their mind, that's if anyone that says I want to get rich from this, that's what they're looking for, though, to say I made it.
I think if you get into anything because you want to get rich, you're getting into it for the wrong reason. You got to care and love what you do. I
agree with that at some level, but you also got bills to pay too. If you have a spicy habit for cars, you better learn a way to make money to buy that car.
But do you feel like you're working when you're working on your music and these other things?
You know what? That's a great question. I learned. I definitely get you guys' opinion on this too, with my opinion on this, but I'll save that part for last. But what I will say is that I do find a genuine sense of worth, because I worked on it so long that it's just something that I was okay, I'm not going to be an athlete. I'm 5'5". It's not a little. So running back, I tried it. I got hurt. I was done. Yeah. And so it was okay, what am I going to do? The music and speaking to people, communicating is what I ended up falling in love with. Right. You know what I mean? And then I understand both sides, because at some point you're well, a part of you really would love to make money just off this.
Of course. Because
you have probably your overall sense of freedom and happiness doing what you love to do and make a check from it. But in certain situations, for some people, they're not able to do that. But as long as people are not what I call people walking dead zombies, as long as they're not doing that. Yeah. Because every job I went to that I worked at in the past was just today's Wednesday. Yep.
Right.
Click the elevator button.
I know about it.
Here's Thursday. Here's Friday. We get 2 days off. Back Monday. And I just didn't. I didn't want to end up doing it. And if it was a situation where I had to do that, I wanted to make sure I had other creative outlets so that I can keep my sanity.
Right, right. There's like almost like an internal monetary value of doing just what you love, regardless if it makes money or not. So it's like I'd be willing to make a little less money if I was doing something I really enjoyed.
But let me ask you a question. If you
here he goes.
Yeah.
Look at his face. He's ready to go.
I love his perspective. I love it.
Here's the thing, though, too. If you're just doing something that you love, you're never going to be as successful, and I'll tell you why.
That's not true. It's not true.
Yeah, listen.
Let me hear this.
Yeah, so I've always done art.
You're doing what you love now.
But listen, let me explain this.
This is some bullshit.
Yeah, but if I wasn't selling my business up north to be free, it feels like more of a grind. So I've put myself in a position the last 20 years to be free to do what I do and do what I love. And it doesn't. So what I'm saying though is until you take the plunge to go all in and your back's against the wall, we were just talking about camping. It's only fun when you can die if you can't feed yourself. And that motivation is different than a motivation. I'm doing what I love because let me ask you a question. Is there more Jake Pauls or is there more people that wish they were Jake Pauls putting out entertainment, but they don't get paid ever? And they still work that shitty 9-to-5 job that they hate, but they use it as their creative art. But they want to do that for a living, but they can't because they can't connect the dots. It's not their fault, but what are they going to do? Say, hey man, Gary Vee told me just do what I love and I'll make it. But now I'm paying for them.
Well, I agree. Like, nobody should just, like, quit their job to go just do what they love.
Unless you know you can make it.
Nobody knows they can make it.
Or, you know what? You better figure it out if you want to make it.
All right, Antoine, feed it. Let me know.
I have to, on this one, I got to agree with him. Because, the reason, hear me out. The reason why
is going on?
There's no... You know, it's funny. We talk about this on the podcast. It's funny you brought that up. There's no, in the entertainment game where we're at, there's no rule book to it.
Right.
You go to McDonald's, you're an assistant manager. You know what your job is.
Yeah.
You know what you can get away with.
Well, that's my point. It's luck.
What you can't get away with, right. But in this business where we're at, let's say content creating is your main business. We have to get up and go to feed ourselves.
But my point is creating this podcast may never make us money, but I enjoy doing it.
I wouldn't do it if it wasn't going to make us money.
Well, I would. That's the big difference.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. You're not going to quit your job of 10 years to do it,
You're
though.
Damn right I'm not.
Because you don't trust enough that you can make it happen. Dude, here's the thing.
It has to prove itself.
Quit.
It has to prove it.
Let's figure it out.
Make it prove itself, and I'll quit. But it's not proven itself.
Oh, you're saying
but I'm not going to
because you want the chicken first.
I'm not going to stop because I enjoy it. Like it doesn't have to ever make me money.
These are your doodles, then. This is your doodles.
Are you going to stop making music if it doesn't make you money? I don't believe that.
I just started making money 2 years ago.
But I mean, like if it never took off to the point where you were making extravagant money where it was your full-time, maybe it is, I apologize, I don't know, but if it could become if it never became a full-time career, would you still do it?
Would I still do it?
Yeah.
Yes, but I would give myself a time limit.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying.
But you're not doing it for the passion then?
Well, I am, but
he's right on. He's right on.
No.
It's changed as I've gotten older because as I started thinking about it, I'm like, will I be in the studio rapping at 50? Maybe, maybe not. But I would have something that I know is guaranteed to make sure that I can set my family up 30, 40 years
well,
from now.
That should always be the priority. But I just want to say, if you love it at 50, I hope you're still doing it at 50, whether it makes you a dime.
But he might love something else more. So here's my point: if somebody comes to you and says,
chime in, engage with the show.
Hey, I'm with him 100% because here's the thing: he loves doing music. But if somebody comes up to him and says, "Hey, you're now our new corporate motivational guy," he's not going to have as much time with the music. And if it's making him no money, he's making $250 a year motivating a company. That's where his love and that's where his passion is going to go.
But that's also a passion of his.
Right.
But you're not talking about working at like a regular business. That would
if
be the
Walmart
example.
came up to you right now and said, "I'll pay $1 million a year to walk around the store and make sure the store's a show," you might do it.
Hell yeah, I'd do it.
So that's what I'm saying. You're not passionate about stocking Walmart shelves.
Stop doing the podcast.
Here's the thing, though.
It's your doodles.
I'll give you an example.
It's your doodles. That's your doodle book.
I can't get across.
Hey, listen, this is your doodle book.
I'll give you an example because I was 100% on your side for about 30 years of my life, and then
he realized, fuck this.
And then I started thinking like, because me and my friends was having this intense hip hop debate, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of goes to the point of what he was saying. Jay-Z started not having as much time focusing on the studio because he was focusing on being a businessman and everything that goes around it.
Yeah.
So when he did his last album, he sounded kind of off.
Okay.
Maybe offbeat or something. Sure. And everybody was critiquing it because he didn't have the practice and the time to do that because he was focused on another passion.
Nas became a billionaire or a 100 millionaire.
And Nas doesn't rap very often no more. So that isn't his main. It doesn't mean he doesn't do it, but it's not his main thing.
He still loves it. He raps in the shower.
Right.
Just like you're on the podcast for 2 hours a week.
Well,
but that ain't gonna.
I still feel like we're going back to my point.
Let me ask you.
Essentially, yes. But if he's 100% correct. If they're like, look, Antoine, we got this motivational speaker thing. You can be the president of this. Do these schools and that. Bye.
Yep.
But that's not.
He'll still sing in the shower.
Right.
That's not. Well, that's not a fair example because motivational speaking is already a passion of yours.
Okay,
that's not a fair example.
I see
you
what
had to
you're
go do
saying.
some shitty job.
I got you. But you just said you'd take the shitty job at Walmart for $1 million a year, even though you hated it.
But I wouldn't. Yeah, you're right. I would, but I would not stop doing the podcast because I love it.
But here's my point. Here's my point too. You just said you would, if the podcast becomes worth it, you'd quit your job if you made enough money, right?
Absolutely.
Have you ever done anything 3 hours a week in your life to make yourself quit your job? Of course not. So you know what I would tell you? Then let's podcast 5 days a week because then we will make money.
We have a hard time podcasting one day a week with your flaky ass.
But that's my point. I didn't show up at Coppertail. That's my fault. We'll get into that.
You didn't show up at Coppertail.
It was pouring rain. I left too. I'll agree with you.
And Fitz didn't show up either. Which, by the way, when we
Fitz,
Fitz, I have to call out Fitz for a second. Yeah, because like when we left on Tuesday, he's like, "Oh, no worries, guys. I'll take off Friday. I'll be there." I'm like, "Are you sure, Fitz?" And he's like,
"2 hours before." It's like
2 hours before. He's like, "I'm at work." Anyways, Fitz, we'll call you out later. I want to get back. So one of the things
conversation, man. That's it makes you think. It makes you it makes you think.
Well, and by the way, speaking of like my job and all that other crap, motivational speak me right now because I hate this fucking job I'm in. long story short, let me give you the long story short. I was at a job for 11 years, had a really good like family work environment, everything was great, but I was bitching because like I couldn't work from home and I wanted the podcast and have more time for that and I wanted more time for my own channel and YouTube and all that crap. Turns out I'm working from home now, which I thought was going to be a huge benefit. Turns out I'm just like on the phone all fucking day with clients and people. My life completely sucks right now. And yeah, I mean, I'm making...
All he can look forward to is platinum.
Basically, the thing I look forward to tonight is a plastic vodka bottle. That's like the highlight of my day, you know? That sounds so alcoholic. That's so bad.
No, but here's the thing.
That's not true.
Dude,
that's not true.
If you really hate your job, though, this is getting back to my point. You're going right down the road I'm saying.
I want the motivational speaker to help me with this situation.
I'm trying to motivate you.
Not you. You're no help whatsoever. But I'm in this situation.
Him to motivate you.
Maybe it'll come different from somebody else. That's not attached.
Right, exactly. This guy gives me shit all the time. I'm not listening to him.
Man, whatever you decide to do, man, and this is where that part where I 100% agree with him on is like, you got to go balls in, bro.
Yeah.
You have to. Because
Kristen, are you listening? I'm going to make no money soon, but I'm going balls in. Listen, I'll make no money, but I'm going balls in.
Whatever your passion is, if you want to make income or whatever, to make sure that your mental health is clear, you're happy in what you want to do, it's 100% going in and believing that is going to be it that you have to do.
I know, and I fight with that.
It's tough because this is my first time meeting you, but you seem like you have a very good heart.
Thank you.
And
I like to think so. I like to think so.
But you have a big heart, right?
Thank you.
Here's the thing. There's a part of you that kind of has to cut that part off and just be like, F it, fuck it.
Yeah, I
fuck
know.
it.
Well,
you know what I mean? And get to that point where I know I'm going to make it. I'm going to get there. Whatever I'm going to do, whether it's podcast 5 days a week or that we're going to make this shit happen.
It's just hard because he's so flaky.
But here's the thing. You have the code to my building.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
can come in here and do it anytime you want.
Is that an honest?
What's mine is
you agree
yours.
with
I
that?
told you
an example.
that.
And I'll give you an example.
I'm just fucking.
The wrestling music thing is a
getting
perfect
attacked.
example for me, right?
Yeah.
When I first started, I went to Maryland.
Yeah.
I met Bret Hart at a sign-in.
His favorite wrestler.
My go-to, brother. That's why I went all the way to Maryland to see him. I stayed at my friend's house. Went to a sign-in.
Just give it to me, though.
And you know what I mean? Oh.
Yeah.
So I met him at a sign-in.
Yep.
And I ended up saying, so I'm getting business mode now. So, there's a stable of wrestlers there. Maybe I can make a song for them. So I went to the locker room. I didn't know these guys. I spoke to him. That ends up being my mentor in the wrestling business who introduced me. My man, Jarvis, love you, bro. Thank you for everything. And he, my business approach to it was, okay, if I'm going to do this shit, I'm going to do this shit.
Okay.
So I messaged a bunch of wrestlers. It started in Maryland at a small little company. Made songs for everybody. Didn't charge a dime at first. I just wanted to get my name out there.
Love that move. Yeah,
Now,
love that move.
I was previously signed to a record label. I had my name, but in wrestling, that don't mean shit.
Right.
It's a whole other demographic. I got to prove myself.
Yeah.
I can't go in here, well, I did this. What does that mean, bro? So I started from the very beginning. I made songs for everybody that I could. Didn't charge a dime. Slowly started charging. Slowly started getting my name up.
Yep.
Bigger name wrestlers started hitting me up. I'm in the studio literally every night for 5-6 hours. There's times I was cranked up. I had like 19 theme songs to do for like 19 different wrestlers.
That's awesome.
But here's the difference between it's a passion and you love it to you want to make money. That grind isn't singing in the shower, just doing what you love. That grind is I'm going to work.
Yeah.
And I'm not making money right now, and I have to keep podcasting 5 days a week if I want it to make me money. But Allison's over here like, I want to go glamping, and I want to have a podcast for 2 hours a week, and I want to quit my job that I hate.
Antoine, help me
Tunnel vision.
Help me with this part of it. Like, look, reality is reality. We have bills.
Right.
We have families. We have to put food in our. If I went from making
Food's
what
free,
I
bro. You
make
can kill your
to zero, that's huge.
What time you go to bed at night?
Early, like 9 o'clock.
You're a good man. Well, can you okay.
I don't.
I'm up at 5 o'clock.
You have kids?
No kids.
What time you get off work?
I get off work around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Man, if you don't take 6 of them hours and get in your hustle, man.
What?
Get in that hustle, man, for them 6.
So I have 3 hours from when I basically ended work to going to bed. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I work out until 7 o'clock.
Listen,
and then I'm right back in.
Listen, you make good money. You have a comfortable lifestyle, and you don't want to change it because here's what I'm saying.
That's true.
But that's okay.
Antoine, that's true. That's part of the.
Yeah.
That's part of the struggle. Like, how do you give up the comfortability?
So you don't
That's
love
the part I'm
podcasting
saying.
that much.
I love it. I would do this if this was my job. I'd do it every day. It makes us no money, dude. And you don't even follow up with the people who want to pay us. You don't even follow up with the people who want to pay us. By the way, where are we with that? We won't even get.
See, I want to be nice because you guys got like mad at me and like you want me to be nice to everybody and shit. So I'm not even like getting started with
We've
that.
had such a heated debate after the last show.
Listen,
I have some of it on film. Maybe I'll play.
You're telling me right now. So how do you make money in the podcast world?
Advertisements, some sponsors, those people that reached out to us. That's how you make money. Yeah.
So here's my question. If we did 5 podcasts a week, would that give us a better chance or a less chance to make money?
Dude, I can't even get into all the problems we've got going. I think it would probably give us a better chance because we'd have more content, more consistency.
So if you loved it enough, you'd. I'm not saying we would do it right away, but like it would turn into we would actually go to these places.
I want to focus on Antoine. So we don't need to get on this whole thing because
this is amazing. This grown man having this conversation. You see where everybody's mind is at. Right?
Well, I mean, we don't want to I don't want to get into a whole thing on that because I agree. Like, if we could, I would, but I don't have the time in the day to podcast 5 times a week.
You're not allocating. You have the time. You're just not going to allocate it for it, and that's okay though. That's okay. Listen, man, it's okay.
I gotta agree with him, man.
That's insane.
It's okay though, man.
Brother. I'm with both you guys.
Listen.
That's how I got into it too.
I really was digging Antoine when he walked in. I'm not so sure.
I love you, but here's the thing. You took another job because you thought you were going to get paid more and have to work less.
Yeah,
that's not
true.
the mindset to make it happen.
What do you mean?
At podcasting, like you're going to make less and have to work more. That's what's going to happen for anything else to be successful.
It's just hard to go from money to zero.
And but here's the other thing too. I'm not going to rant at you like a Gary Vee or these motivational speakers that are going to be like, well, that's just because you're not allocating your time. I'll tell you you're not allocating your time, but then here's the deal. If you do it, so be it. And you want it. If you don't, fucking none off my back.
I don't want to go on the whole thing on it, but Antoine, I want your opinion. Yeah. You being the guest. Just you tell me, what do you think about my situation? What should I do?
I think this is what me and my brother do too. Sometimes I got to talk to somebody else because you guys just have different opinions, and it's funny how
he's an asshole.
It'd be like that with brothers. Sometimes, like my grandma would be like, "Well, maybe if somebody else said it, maybe it'll receive it better." Yeah. You know what I mean?
So that's exactly what I'm hoping.
Time allocation, bro. Time management. Okay.
So I suck at time management.
Some time management, yeah. Because when you gave me the time list, I'm like, you can squeeze something in there. But time management, and I would say too, you have to basically what he's saying, and I'm gonna say it another way. You just gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable. Be
real with me, yeah.
You gotta grow comfortable being uncomfortable, especially in a situation for your dreams where you want to do something you really want to do and allocate your time for it. Because you sound like you're like, look, it's almost like a fear of becoming uncomfortable again.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have that. If you want to do something that you love to do and make money off of it, you have to literally make that sacrifice and put it in. I started on a blank canvas with music, man. I didn't know anybody.
Yeah,
I went all the way from there to the WWE Network and AEW and all that. And I had no blank canvas. I figured it out as I went. I started with nothing.
Yeah.
But you also didn't have this job for 12 years where you had to give 40 hours a week and you have to get to bed by 9. And you probably said, yo, this is going to be my life. And I know this. I'm going to be up till midnight.
Yep. Sometimes still tonight. I don't go to bed at 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think with us, it's more, do you know what the beaten dog syndrome is?
No, tell me.
You beat a dog. Now, I don't because I love animals. But if a dog gets beat, overtime, like a shitty job.
Okay.
And overtime, you're like, the dog just thinks maybe for a year it's going to get pet, but it always gets beat.
Right.
Okay. And then one day, another opportunity, like, I'm going to pet you, and you go to a new home.
Right.
And now you don't feel comfortable because you're not getting beat. You've just gotten into this thing where you hate your job, but that's normal and typical. You wake up and listen, misery enjoys company. I don't know if you talk to anybody else that hates their job, but like, let's just say you have a conversation with a family member or a friend. You're like, dude, how was your day? Sucked. Mine too. Let's get some platinum vodka. No, I'm just kidding. That probably helps, actually.
That's Kristen.
Yeah. But here's my point. If misery enjoys company, and I'm not, but here's the other thing too. I'm not talking you out of doing that because I don't care.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't care?
Your passion isn't my passion.
Well, no. But I thought you care about the podcast.
Oh, I do. And if you said, Sean, I really want to, I'm not getting beat anymore. I don't want to get beat anymore. I will show up on Thursdays if you can.
I love y'all, man.
Do you agree with this?
He does, man.
I just know how I started. I'm kind of wired that way. You know what I mean? Because nobody's going to give you nothing. So you just have to get up and go. And you know what, man? I was the same way when I first started. I was uncomfortable. I'm like, but then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get anywhere in my dreams if I'm not going to do this. And I have kids. They would come over. My baby is literally in my arms. I'm still writing rhymes for theme songs. I didn't get shit. I'm getting there, bro. You know what I mean? And you just, when your mind starts telling you can't, nope, fuck that. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Get right back into it. Meet people, build relationships, and just get back at it. It just seems like, man, you have the comfortable life, but you're not. It's not fulfilling you, bro.
Austin's on the way home from work, punching the steering wheel.
You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck.
And true, too, you're home all day. So you don't get you're not seeing anything outside of just your computer screen or wherever you're at. And you're just sitting there mundane, like, services, I'll help you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you just get, it's not.
You're a beaten dog that's now a recluse.
Antoine's inspiring me.
Hey, you're a beaten dog that's now a recluse. Good job.
It's just like we're saying the same thing in different ways. You know what I mean? I feel you, brother. I feel you. And it's tough because my friend had this talk with me one time, and I did not want to hear it, bro. Yeah. I'm arguing with him on the phone. He's like, this is why I got a 3-story house, bro, and you don't. So you can take it how you want to take it. And I'm like, okay. So I took it, and we argued for about 2 hours. I called him back and said, you know what, you're right, bro. We will never have this conversation again. I guarantee it.
Right.
10 years later, he called me. He's like, was I right? I said, you're right, bro. And I will admit to you that you was right, because I needed to really get a kick in the ass and really go for it. I couldn't stop, no days off. I'm still up now 2, 3 in the morning. I get my kids on every other weekend. When I know I get them Friday night, when I get them Friday morning, Thursday night, which will be Veterans Day this Thursday, I know I got a long day ahead of me. Right, but I got to get to it. I got to do it.
Is that one of the biggest lessons you learned, basically?
Yeah. Like the blank canvas is what we're talking about.
Yeah. You
got to start from that blank canvas, and you have to do whatever to get there. You got to go balls in. There's no days off with it. There's no sitting back saying, somebody else said, nope.
Right. Yeah.
You got to do it, bro. And it's uncomfortable for some people at first, because some people don't want to go back to a certain thing, but if you could sit here 5 days a week and do this and make the salary you make, you would do it.
I would absolutely do it.
But you'll never know until you try. But here's the other thing I want to say too, because this is the other side of that too, and he's hitting you with it. Here's the other thing though: there's no problem whatsoever with living the comfortable life that you're living and doing what you're doing.
Amen.
Okay,
because you know what? For 10 years or whatever, hating your job, talking about how much it sucks, and then whatever it is afterwards worked for you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're good or bad.
I didn't hate it the whole time.
There's a couple years in there. Yeah. You must have liked it. But here's my point. No harm in trying. There's people that would trade places with you and hate their job and do as well as you're doing.
That's true. That's true. Well, I appreciate your insight on that, Antoine. Thank you for helping me through this.
No problem, brother.
It's been a difficult thing for me. By the way, we should have asked you as soon as you walked on, but how can people find you on Instagram or anything else?
My rap name is Monteasy, which is a basically another extension of my personality. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter at Teasy Jones. I wanted to make a special announcement as well, since this is for Tampa Bay, and I wanted to give it exclusive to this podcast first, because this is how we do things, and I've always wanted to get back to the
big
city.
Announcement.
So, I don't know if you guys are familiar, DJ artist named Strizzo, which is one of the biggest artists that ever come out of Tampa. He's going on a world tour starting January 2022, and it's called the Who's Next Tour. He's headlining, and I am on the bill with him.
Oh,
Sweet.
So
snap.
I will
Congratulations,
I'll be traveling to featured dates all over the world.
Holy
Starting 2022, this will be my first world tour. So I am excited, and
we have a world tour guest on the show.
I love that, and all that hard work got you to this point, and that's probably the payoff.
Yep, this was on my bucket list to say, okay, I know if I can get to this point and really make it, can be guaranteed dates every single year that I do this.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And make it. So I'm actually going to a world tour. It's called the Who's Next Tour, led by Strizzo, with featuring myself on certain dates.
Sweet.
And I can't wait, man.
Man, congratulations, dude. That's awesome.
That's gonna be fun.
That's awesome. Monteasy, you said was your app name? Okay.
So when I'm doing the podcast, on the Swerve City podcast, everything is just it's Teasy, Monteasy.
That's his wrestling kicking in. Is that your like alter ego?
Yeah, no, one time somebody tried to get me to go through a table. I was like, I'm not doing that. Cause you rap the guy out, do your lyrics, and then like while you're still in the apron, he's gonna run into you and you're gonna fall into the dance. Like, nah.
If you want to give Austin a chest slap before you leave, that'd be cool.
I've taken a few chops in my life. Certainly have.
Why'd you stop doing that?
Basically, no money.
Doing what he loved.
Doing what I loved.
He had to go back to that nice house where he got beat.
Well, I mean, you know, because you've written music for people on the Indies, and the Indies is not it's not as flattering as working for the WWE or these.
Well, how about I do this? How about I make a song for the show?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh my gosh, you would do that?
That's no problem. I start working this week on it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
you would do. I mean, we make
cool.
no money here. We make no money, so we got nothing to offer besides
it's about love, baby. It's about love.
You guys invited me on the show. That's all. That's enough for me, bro.
Oh man, that's awesome,
no
dude.
Give me a
awesome.
week.
Thank you for that, man. Appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it. Is there anything else going on, like in your life, you want to announce, plug, anything else you want to talk about?
First, man, go to Peacock. Peacock, the app, special app, NBC, everything like that owns that. Go to the WWE part and check out the Swerve City podcast. All our episodes from last season is on there, the WWE Network. Make sure you guys check out. Just go to Peacock, sign up, check out our past episodes. We have the Who's Who on there from the WWE on our podcast, from Charlotte Flair, a bunch of different people. So make sure you guys tune in on that. Also, too, I have my solo album, Erica's Son 2, is coming out summer of 2022. Hopefully, while I'm on the road, you know. And we have a group album with me and my brother Isaiah Swear Scott. We're working on the third album called Tears. And so basically, I'm working on 2 albums at once right now, like I've been doing forever.
Yes, that's awesome, man.
So yeah, man, those things are coming soon. And make sure you guys, if you want to hit me up for anything, any bookings, More to Life, Moore. My mom's last name is More to Life, ENT @gmail.com. Hit me up for any bookings.
And we'll link that in there.
Yeah, hell yeah, we will.
And make sure you guys check out all the music at youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast.
Awesome.
Are you going to see Mike Jones at the Ritz?
He's performing?
Yeah, and so is and the 3 Chambers, RZA, Jizza, and somebody else for Wu-Tang.
Are they this week?
I think they're this week. The 3 Chambers, are over here at the Ritz. And Mike Jones is next weekend, I believe.
Is that Thursday?
Thursday, Friday, I think.
Get out your phone so your wife can get all stoked about it.
I just saw it though.
Because I knew Wu-Tang was coming. I just didn't know what day.
Yeah.
That's RZA, Jizza, and Ghostface.
And Ghostface, yep, that's who it is. Yeah.
Ghostface
here we go. We got it.
3
Chambers is November 11th.
Ooh.
November 11th.
2 days.
That's
Thursday.
Thursday?
Yep.
I'm pulling up.
Nice, awesome.
I'll stand right in the back of this
news.
Yeah.
You can find your news right here on the What's Good Tampa Show.
Absolutely.
What's going on? Why didn't you mention that earlier when I was going through everything that's going on?
We just vibing, man. You know, my notes are in my head.
Dude.
This therapy session for you.
I mean, this really has been. It's been a good time, though. I hope you're having fun, too.
Yeah, I love this, man.
All right. So are you ready for the lightning round?
Ooh, does he know Tampa?
This is how we kind of end the show. It's just a lightning round. I think this might be a new tradition with guests. I don't. you're our second guest besides my wife, so we didn't do the lightning round with her.
I'm sure she was a better guest than me.
No.
Oh,
I don't want to say that, actually.
I was say, how you gonna answer that, brother?
Shit. Oh no.
It's another beating tonight.
I'm in trouble, dude. All right, so here's kind of the gimmick. What's the applause on there? Is that sound C? Hold that down for a minute. Oh, you got to hold it down, Fitz. All right. Welcome to the show. Let's hold it down during the whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the lightning round. We are here with Antoine, and we're going to go over 15 questions. That's good, Fitz. Now, the 15 questions, the gimmick is going to be you got to do it in 30 seconds. If you can answer all 15 questions in 30 seconds, there's no right or wrong answer, by the way. There's no right or wrong answer.
You just got to get through them.
You just have to get through them. Kind of like, well, I guess Family Feud, there are right or wrong answers. But this is just 15 seconds. You just need to answer them all within 15 seconds. If you can do that, there's a prize at the end.
Okay.
Is this making sense?
I'll give it a try. Yeah, I'll give it a try.
All right, let me get to a good starting point here because apparently I don't know how to... Oh, figured it out. All right, so you ready for the lightning round?
Let's get it.
Starting in... And again, I'll tell you, some of these are...
Ooh, sounds hard already.
I know, right? Some of these are Tampa-related questions, some are not. But anyways...
I'll give it a shot.
We'll give it a shot. And again, not questions. It's more like a this or that. But anyway, here we go. Ready? And 3, 2, and 1. Favorite Tampa pizza spot?
Oh,
man, you're already killing time, dude.
I know. Pizza Hut shit.
Oh, this is bad.
That'll be bad, guys.
Cuban sandwich or wings?
Oh, Cuban sandwich.
All right. Go to a Lightning game or a Bucks game?
Lightning.
Keep the Rays or kick out the Rays and get a basketball team?
I'm NBA, man. Give me a basketball team.
Favorite brunch spot?
Evos.
Favorite place to pick up women?
Strip club.
Busch Gardens or Universal?
Universal for my kids.
St. Pete or Clearwater Beach?
Clearwater Beach all day.
Armature Works or Sparkman?
Sparkman.
Vodka or beer?
Vodka.
Podcast or playlist?
Podcast.
Texting or FaceTiming?
I gotta see their face.
Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac.
Favorite Tampa artist besides yourself?
Strizzo.
All right. It
actually
applause. It actually took him 54 seconds.
That first one stuck me.
Go ahead and hit the other sound pad because that's basically, let's be honest, he didn't do it.
We're still gonna hook him up with a gimmick shirt.
We're gonna hook him up anyway. We just wanted to have some fun with it.
I love your shirt, by the way, Smashing Pumpkins.
I know. I was so thrilled with that.
I love these guys, man. I love them and the Chili Peppers. That's all I know.
Chili Peppers too. Big fan of that. So awesome, Antoine. Thank you again for coming on. We do a little gimmick at the end too, where we both just say one more time how to find us. I'll go ahead and start. We'll make our way around the room again. If you want to find me, I'm at Tampa is Life, or if you want to get a hold of the show, it's at What's Good Tampa Show, or get a hold of us at what'sgoodtampa.com, or What's Good Tampa Show at gmail.com. Antoine, again, how do they find you?
At TZ Scott on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, things of that nature. More to Life ENT at gmail.com for all bookings. Yes, and we're here at the Gimmick, 2213 East 6th Avenue, right across from the Columbia Restaurant in Ybor. And you can find me on Instagram, vintage_gimmick, Facebook, The Gimmick.
Awesome. Thanks again, Antoine. We'll see you guys next week in the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the What's Good Tampa Show. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at What's Good Tampa Show, or visit what'sgoodtampa.com to get involved with the show. See you next time.